What's up guys, so today I'm making another R&B beat from scratch in Logic Pro, so let's get right into it. I like starting with drums because I'm a guitar player and I like playing guitar over pre-made drums. Helps you keep in rhythm rather than just working off a click track. I'm thinking a really reverbed out clap would be good. Let's do a quick kick drum. And then I'm going to load that snap up with even more reverb. And I love using the Valhalla Vintage Verb for most of my ambient reverb. So that's the one I'm going to go with right there. Alright, so we have a basic drum pattern and now I'm going to use that to record a guitar progression. I'm kind of liking these three chords right here. I think that could be something we can work off of. Alright, so I'm noticing it wasn't the best take in terms of timing, but what you can do in Logic is turn on the flex mode here. And basically you can see all the transients get identified. I'm going to use this and kind of tighten up some of the timings here. So you can see this came in a little early. These are all kind of early. So you set an anchor there and I can just drag these kind of on grid. See, that's already way better there. You can see this note came in a little bit early as well. So I'm going to fix that. So here the take wasn't perfect, but it was close enough, and with some help from Logic, we can make it kind of a perfect take. Now I'm thinking we can add some lead guitar and make it sound more interesting. Alright, cool. So for the tone, I'm using the Mateus Asado archetype. This is the Black Tea preset. I think it could be cool to layer this with a higher octave as well. That's something I do often. So let's see. Let's see if we can layer that for maybe the second two. I think that could be a cool layer there. So let's see if we can. Alright, so a lot of times I'll use this little micro shift to kind of make that second layer sound wider. It's a really simple tool from Soundtoys, and you can just choose a couple of these presets and you can use it to spread out that second layer so that it's not double stacked right in the middle of the stereo field. So I'll play those two layers together. And here's that layer spread out. So if you're wearing headphones, you can probably hear that it's panned left and right, so kind of doubled. It provides a nice texture underneath that main lead guitar. Alright, so now I think we need to record some bass. And so for my bass tone, I'm using the P-Bass preset from the Corey Wong archetype by Neural DSP. I know it's a lot, but it's a really good bass preset and it's kind of my go-to for all bass tones. Alright, so we have a really safe bass line there. Let's see if we can just riff over the top of that bass line and make it sound cooler. I kind of like that little riff there. And then like we did with the other guitar, I'm gonna make that sound wide. So typically you wouldn't widen out a bass, but because it's kind of the second layer, I think it could be a cool effect. So I'm gonna go with a plugin that I love from Brainworks, or Plugin Alliance, and it's the BX Stereo Maker. And this is a really great plugin for widening out sounds because it has a mono frequency. So basically we can tell it that up until, let's make it maybe 75 hertz, it's going to be mono, and then only above 75 hertz will it become stereo, and we could just make it really wide. So let's hear how that sounds. If you're wearing headphones, you can notice that it became extremely wide. I think it'd be a cool kind of ear candy thing to throw in there to make that bass line sound more interesting. And now I think no R&B beat is complete without some vocal chops. So let's look in Splice and see if we can find some cool vocals to go over this beat. So I'm just gonna warp that to 120 beats per minute. I really like that. Alright, so I think that fits pretty cool. This little section is a little weird, so I think I'm gonna cut that, but I love that kind of intro section, and probably even here is cool too. I think it'd be kind of cool around the guitar. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm doing here is just making a kind of call and response. So I think this vocal fits really well around that guitar lead. And I think it'd be really cool if it was guitar lead, responds with vocal, guitar lead, responds with vocal. So I think I just kind of did that real quick. So let's see what it sounds like. All right, I think I really like that actually, especially when the higher lead guitar comes in, the vocal goes at a higher octave as well. So I think that pairs really well. All right, so I added a riser, an impact, a crash to kind of accentuate the change from maybe the verse over here to the chorus. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys one of my secret weapons for electric guitar, and that's the RC20 Retro Color plugin that you've probably seen everywhere. What I use it for is to widen out my guitar tone. So I love this wobble feature, and basically I flip it to stereo, and I turn on the wobble just a little bit, and it really does a nice job at widening out my guitar tone and making it stand out in the mix. Here's it without RC20. You can tell it's just right in the middle, and then I'll turn on RC20. And particularly I'll mess around with the stereo, so I'll turn the stereo off, and I'll turn the stereo on. So it kind of doubles it, puts it to both sides of the headphones, really makes it sound wide and makes it stand out in the mix as well. All right, so the last thing I'm gonna do is just kind of slap on my basic mastering preset for all my beats. It's really simple, it really requires no work on my end, but it tends to sound good on pretty much every beat. So I'll walk you through that real quickly, and I'll probably have another video of like, how do I actually master beats? But when I'm in a pinch and I just wanna get that loudness out of my beats, I just kind of go to my go-to master preset, and I have this saved as a channel strip. And it's kind of all my go-to mastering plugins really simple format where I don't really have to do any work. And I love doing it like this just to get that loudness out of my beats, just because it costs me 0 time. And if I want to master it with more detail, I can always go in and change things. But I'll walk you through my basic preset. The first thing in my chain is a linear EQ, and I'm just rolling off kind of anything about under 25 hertz, just kind of the mud you don't need in a beat. And then I'm using the Soothe 2 plugin by OX Sound, and this is one of my go-to plugins. It does a really nice job identifying kind of problem frequencies and just taking those out automatically. So let me just show you what it's doing real quick. So as you guys can kind of see visually, it's like automatically identifying some resonant frequencies in my mix and ducking them automatically. So it's a really, really useful tool. And you can hit this delta button, which is going to identify exactly what it's pulling out of the mix. So as you can hear, it's pulling out a lot of nasty frequencies automatically, and I basically didn't touch anything. So you can spend a lot of time looking for frequencies with a regular EQ and ducking those manually, but it takes time. So I love using a plugin like Soothe 2 just because you can do it instantly and I don't really have to worry about it. The next plugin in my chain is the Black Box plugin by Brainworks, and this is a really awesome saturator. So I just have it doing some saturation, adding some stereo width as well, and just does a great job at creating some more warmth, some more bite, some more punch to the beat. Alright, and the next plugin in my chain is the God Particle plugin. This is not one of those cheat code plugins that you can just throw on any mix and it seems to just make things sound better. That's with it. So you can hear the difference. It made it louder, but it adds a lot of parallel compression, saturation, just does a lot of magic under the hood that just makes beats sound better. And then my next plugin is Gullfoss. So this is another AI based automatic plugin where I can just slap it on and it's going to make my beat sound better. It's basically a smart EQ. It's going to identify frequencies that need to be boosted, identify problem frequencies that need to be ducked, and do it all automatically. And then just to get my volume, I'm using an inflator, which is an awesome plugin. I'll probably dive into that plugin later in another video. T-Rack's classic clipper, a soft clipper, just to get more volume out of my beat, and then finalizing it with the FabFilter Pro L for my limiting. I like having my beats around -10, -11 LUFS before I send it out to an artist so that they have some volume. Now, this isn't too precise. Like I said, this is my mastering preset when I just want to slap something on and get it to a proper loudness so that I can send it off to an artist. So there's nothing precise about this preset, but I love this chain because I can just slap it on. It's going to work on almost every beat and it's going to make it sound good. It's not precise, but it sounds good enough and it takes me 2 seconds. That's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, hit subscribe, and I'll be posting more videos like this. And let me know what kind of other beats I should be making that you guys would be interested in. I'd love to make a variety of genres with you. But thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time and looking forward to seeing you in the next video.